You get brought breakfast in bed. Thank you, Helen. Well, day 46 was a very, very hilly day. I had amazing Helen bring me like warm toast with peanut butter on it to my bed in the morning. That was pretty cool. So yeah, ate that in bed, and then yeah, Helen was already like packed up, like up and about, ready to go. I knew I didn't have a huge day, like super long, so I wasn't in like a huge rush to pack up and head off. So I was just gonna take my time. Had my morning coffee. I grabbed a heap of those little International Roast sachets from one of the rooms I was in somewhere. Yeah, I just thought, oh, these are like heaps lighter and easier to deal with than those like coffee bag things that I was using. So I just grabbed like a heap of them. I don't think I've quite got enough to do me for the rest of the trail, although I might now because I haven't had one every morning since. Eventually packed up and we left Scott's shelter. We were walking through the forest reserve for a while. Yeah, just up, down, fire tracks. We spotted a few kangaroos and I think one Euro maybe that had a joey in its pouch. Pretty cute. But eventually left that and we're on just like a dirt track and we're just heading past some properties, and there was one that had a couple of brown sheep, like blackface brown sheep. I don't think I've ever seen a brown sheep before. Yeah, so that was different. And then the next property had some cows, and they were just alongside the fence, like along next to a dam, and they just looked like way too comfy to want to move at all, so they just stayed by the fence as we walked by. And then I actually saw my first trail koala. Lucky I was with Helen because I don't even know if I would have spotted it. I just would have been like watching the trail or in my own little world or something. And yeah, Helen was like just a little bit in front of me, and yeah, she was like, oh, koala in the tree. So yeah, that was pretty cool. We sort of took a few photos and video and hung around there for a while, and then after a little while of like watching it, I sort of noticed from the side that I was looking at, from where I was standing, I noticed I saw a baby on the around the other side of it, hanging on around the other side, and it moved, and I was like, oh my god. I told Helen, like, there's a baby there. So yeah, that was really cool seeing my first trail koala with a baby. So cute. And then we had a section of bitumen for a little while. There were a few bitumen sections today, which I do not enjoy. And we got put back in a property and we were following fence lines. And then we had a bit of a hill climb. We were sort of climbing up the side of what's it called, Mount Gould or something like that. Mount Gould. So yeah, Helen said that we should get to the top of that and then head back. I ended up walking over all of these beautiful yellow flowers, just yellow wildflowers. There were bees everywhere, and then we had to walk through this group of cows. They like didn't even want to move. Helen was in front of me, and I think she was a bit concerned, like didn't want to sort of go around or rush or move them or anything. I just told her just to, you know, slowly walk around them. They really didn't seem bothered by us humans at all. I still wish like they just didn't get up. Like I wish they'd just know that they don't have to get up. There were a few that were just, you know, lying on the ground. As we walked by, they got up, but they don't need to. That was funny. And then we were walking past and they're just all staring at us. But yeah, and then continued our climb, and then we got to the top. Well, Helen checked her phone and said that where we were was the highest point of the day, I think. So yeah, that's where we sort of sat and had a snack. Helen actually busted out some golden delicious apples, and they were delicious. Well, mine was anyway. And then after that, said goodbye to Helen, so she headed back down the way we came, and I continued on, and it was only like, I don't know, a few meters up along the trail, and I ran into a couple of guys. They must have just been doing like a day hike. So yeah, chatting to them for a bit, and then continued on down more bitumen, and then I got put back into the forest reserve, and I came across another reroute, which wasn't actually on Far Out. I think the last few that I've had, they've actually been on Far Out. The trail's been marked on Far Out, but this one wasn't. So I was a little anxious. I was really trying to look out for markers, because obviously if you miss something, there's no backup. So I can't check Far Out and make sure I'm still on the trail, because it was already showing me off the trail. So yeah, it wasn't too long though before I saw the reroute sign for like the Nobo walkers. So then I knew I was back on the normal trail again. But looking at Far Out, it looked like it was a bit of a shortcut. It took out sort of like a little corner or chunk of the forest reserve, so that was alright. And then yeah, like more hills, up down, up down, up down, on a dirt track. Yeah, looking at the map, I knew I had so I was being put back on a bitumen road, and then it crossed a creek, and then pretty much staying on bitumen until getting into here. But it was so dodgy. Like, I don't even know if I'm assuming I was going the right way, because the arrow said there was arrows on both sides of the road. So I come to the road, and then there was an arrow pointing like towards the bridge. There was a bridge over, like a car bridge over the creek, and the arrow across the road just pointed towards the bridge as well. So I thought, oh, maybe there's an actual like trail across there, because there wasn't one on the side that I was on. I could look up, and the road like went real narrow, so it was just two lanes crossing the bridge. So I crossed the road and had a look, and right by the like the steel fence, like the barrier, was a fence about a meter behind it, and then that ended into the barrier. So I looked up and down trying to find a stile or something, and I couldn't see anything. So I thought, okay, so I'm gonna have to like literally walk on the road across this bridge. And it was fairly busy. Like, while I walked from those markers to get walked across the bridge where I had a little bit more room to walk off the road, I think I probably had maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 cars like pass me. So yeah, it was just like really embarrassing, and I just felt bad. I kept looking around, like looking down to the right of me, trying to see if there was like any room over the barrier to walk, and there was none. There was no other bridge or anything over the creek, like there was no sign of any other trail anywhere else. So I don't know, I'm pretty sure I was like meant to be up there on the road, but yeah, it just did not feel good at all. Not too far along the road after that, I turned right, and then it was just kind of walking along this street, and then I came to the junction where the trail headed off to the left, and I was going right because I was coming into here, the Cudlee Creek Caravan Park. I'm actually meant to be camping at Grandpa's camp, which is a little further on down the trail. But yeah, last night I looked this up and I thought, oh, there's like a caravan park like right there, pretty close to where I'm meant to be staying anyway, and there's a tavern with good food, so I'd heard. So I thought, yeah, I emailed them and they replied this morning and said there was a cabin left, so I said yep, I'll take it, and yeah, here I am. Well, very basic. I don't think any of that stuff is really probably meant to be used, I don't know. Doesn't seem like that's on. Yeah. Home for the night. She said if I wanted food or anything to go back and get my order in, because the chef was finishing up soon, early today. So I got in sort of, I think it was around like 3:30, something like that. So I was kind of hungry. I only had a Cliff Bar for lunch because I didn't really want to stop. So I ordered like 2 meals. So I ordered a hot dog with a lot to eat then and there. I also got given a little entree of baked potato and an aioli, I think it was. So that was pretty yummy. And then the hot dog came out and it was huge. And I also ordered bangers and mash to have for later, like for a proper dinner, which I might heat up soon. I've had a shower, which is always amazing. And so tomorrow I just had on my calendar Norton Summit ? And I didn't have anywhere booked. The one place along the trail wants 2 nights stays. And I had a quick look online and I couldn't find anywhere else close to the trail. Tomorrow's going to be a big day for me anyway. I think it's going to be about 30 k's, so I didn't want to get accommodation that was like going to send me too far off the trail anyway. So I called them up and just asked if they had anything available for tomorrow night, and that I'd be happy to pay for the 2 nights and just stay the one. I said otherwise I have nowhere to stay really. I know I could have probably stealth camped somewhere, set up my tent somewhere, but I don't know, I just didn't feel like 100% comfortable in doing that and planning on that. So yeah, they're actually going to put me up tomorrow night, and he said they're not comfortable charging me for 2 nights, so they're going to give me a bit of a discount. So not quite 2 nights worth, which is fine. Like, yeah. And and it's meant to be like a pretty nice loft apartment thing, so yeah, it might actually be maybe the nicest spot I'll have on trial. Still no bath though, but yeah, I'll get one eventually. So yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be seeing me in a nice fancy loft apartment room thingy me jiggy. So yeah, stay tuned for that. See you later.